I feel like every year, every season, maybe every January 1st, we see a headline screaming at us, do this 30-day challenge and finally fix all your money problems forever. And what I notice universally is that most people approach a money reset from a place of just fundamental misunderstanding. They think it's about deprivation. They think a 30-day reset means cutting everything, starving your bank account, and just feeling absolutely miserable for a month until you break, usually around, what, day 12?
And that right there is precisely why 9 out of 10 people fail these kinds of challenges. Because, wait, hold on, let me say this clearly and gently.
Wait.
A true reset is not punishment. It's not deprivation. It is designed to be breathing space. It's a structured pause.
Exactly, or rather, precisely the opposite of what hustle culture teaches us. Okay, let's unpack this. Because today, we are doing something different, something deeply rooted in psychological research and designed for real-world application. Welcome back to The Deep Dive. We're focused today on the 30-day money reset. Our mission is not to give you rigid rules. Our mission is to break down how to approach this period, not with shame, not with guilt, but with clear, supportive structure, deep compassion for where you are right now, and perhaps most importantly, with tiny incremental actions that build huge, genuinely unstoppable momentum. We are ditching the financial bootcamp vibe entirely.
And that reframing is the core difference. We are moving the needle away from viewing financial change as this painful contest of self-flagellation and shifting it toward a measured, predictable, and emotionally safe window of time. If you feel safe enough to try, you are far more likely to succeed.
This isn't about misery. This is about establishing new, sustainable patterns. And to do that, we have to start with the brain. Let's jump right into the psychological foundation of why the 30-day period works so effectively and why longer periods tend to fail.
The big question we always get is, why 30 days? Why is this the ideal window? Why not 90 days, which sounds more substantial? Why not just say, fix your life this year?
Yeah, that sounds impossible.
It feels impossible. And the answer, which is often missed, is rooted entirely in how human beings, particularly the nervous system, process goals and perceive threat. We respond best to short-term structure with boundaries that are immediately visible and actionable.
I think people underestimate how much scale impacts our sense of capability.
Hugely. When you tell someone, fix your finances this year, their brain immediately processes that instruction as a massive threat. It's too big, it's blurry, it's kind of infinite.
Overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. And what does the brain do when faced with overwhelming tasks that feel infinite? It shuts down. It triggers avoidance mechanisms. It's a defense strategy against psychological overload.
It's the difference between looking at a massive mountain range with no discernible summit and looking at a very manageable hill climb. You can't even see the top of the mountain, so why start climbing when failure seems inevitable?
Precisely. But when you reframe that challenge and say, let's focus only on the next 30 days, the brain shifts state. It says, oh, okay, I can do that.
Right.
That is close. That is visible. That is contained. It feels like a temporary commitment you can actually honor, even if money has always felt scary or confusing your entire adult life.
That feels like a huge weight lifted already. The idea that this isn't a permanent commitment to austerity, it's just a focused practice window.
Right. It transforms the experience from what feels like a lifelong prison sentence into a window of focused, meaningful transformation. And this leads to the absolutely crucial point we made earlier. Short-term resets significantly reduce shame.
Wait, hold on. Let's dig into the shame factor, because this is the biggest obstacle for most people. Why does the pressure of a shorter time reduce the shame that usually accompanies financial mistakes?
Because you're not trying to be perfect forever. If you commit to fixing money for the rest of my life, the stakes are astronomical. Every single mistake is a catastrophe. If you commit to practicing stability for the next 30 days, the goal shifts entirely. The goal is practice. The goal is experimentation. It's observation. You are simply learning and gathering data about your own behavior.
So if I mess up on day 15 and buy that expensive impulse item, I don't feel like I ruined my entire life trajectory.
Exactly. You learn from it, you log the trigger in your night reflection, and you continue on day 16. The pressure is off because the expectation is practice, not permanent perfection. The shame usually comes from making a mistake and feeling like that mistake defines your entire financial future. A 30-day window isolates the mistake. It's just a data point within the practice window.
That makes so much sense.
And let's be technical for a moment. Let's bring in the nervous system factor and what happens physiologically. We talk a lot about survival mode.
Right.
30 days is long enough for genuine neural pathways and habits to begin forming. It allows for repetition and behavioral consolidation. But crucially, it is short enough that your autonomic nervous system doesn't freak out.
The amygdala link you mentioned in the sources. Tell us more about that. Why does financial insecurity trigger a survival response?
When we talk about financial scarcity, the primitive part of your brain, the amygdala, doesn't differentiate between a low bank balance and seeing a literal threat like a predator.
Wow.
It triggers the same fight, flight, freeze response. When we are scared or feel trapped by financial stress, the amygdala essentially hijacks the prefrontal cortex, which is where logic, planning, and long-term thinking reside.
So you can't think straight.
You literally can't. So if you tell that system, which is already in high alert, change everything forever starting right now, it enters full panic mode. That manifests as avoidance, paralysis, or impulsive spending to seek temporary relief. 30 days, however, is a short enough boundary that the nervous system can handle it. It feels manageable.
It feels safe.
It feels safe enough to try, which means the prefrontal cortex can stay online and focused on planning.
Safe enough to succeed. That's a powerful shift in physiological regulation. Now let's tackle the elephant in the room that plagues most money advice. There are dozens of 30-day money challenges out there, but most of them, frankly, fail dramatically. Why are they so often too extreme, too rigid, and ultimately too punishing?
Because they are built on shame instead of psychology. They use shock tactics to try and create quick, unsustainable wins. Think about the common mandates. No spending for the whole month except rent. Or...
Oh, I've seen that one.
Or... you must save $1,000 in 30 days regardless of your actual income, or the famous don't eat out at all, ever.
Which is unrealistic. If you have kids, if you have a demanding job, if you have literally zero psychological buffer, these rules are designed to make you fail and feel like a moral failure in the process.
Absolutely. And it's cruel, especially for someone who is already fighting their own nervous system and feeling constantly stressed. We have to internalize this. Punishment doesn't create healing. Pressure doesn't create genuine stability. Shame absolutely does not create genuine, lasting behavioral change. It creates temporary compliance followed by rebellion.
So how does this specific reset, the one we are detailing today, differ fundamentally in its design?
It's built around gentleness, self-awareness, calm, and small, repeatable wins. We prioritize predictability and emotional safety over rapid, painful progress. We want structure without suffocation.
Yeah.
This system is designed for real people. People with real bills, real stress, real exhaustion, who need a sustainable reset, not a temporary financial boot camp that leaves them burned out on day 31.
I think that permission to proceed gently is what allows the transformation to stick. We're giving the brain a safe container to experiment in. Okay, having established that psychological safety net, let's look at the structure within that container. Before we break down each step and the necessary supportive detail, I want listeners to hear the whole 30-day map in one smooth overview. This creates the clarity and simplicity the planning brain craves.
Let's get that overview. We are stacking success, 1 week at a time. Here is the entire 4-week arc, distilled down. Week 1 is entirely dedicated to calming the chaos, getting grounded.
Step 1.
Week 2 is where we reset your spending patterns. This is the heavy emotional lifting.
Right.
Week 3 is focused on external momentum. Optimize your income and bills.
I like that.
And week 4 is dedicated to building stability routines and ensuring the change lasts.
Calm, reset, optimize, stabilize. It's logical, it's clear, it's structured, it's not dramatic. It's just gentle, deliberate action, 1 week at a time.
That's the entire blueprint. Now let's dive into the core work.
All right, let's jump into the deep work of the first half. Week 1. Calming the chaos. This is the foundation. If you skip this, the rest of the reset collapses. This is the week that stops the spiral and gives people room to breathe again.
Week 1 is entirely about stability. Let's repeat that. The goal is not progress, not perfection, not speed.
Just stability.
Stability. We have to accept the premise that you cannot build anything meaningful. A budget, a savings plan, a debt reduction strategy on top of financial panic. It must be a grounding week.
The first week is not about hustle. It's about breathing.
Precisely. So what does this essential grounding look like in practical steps? We have 5 distinct steps to grounding.
Okay.
Step 1, the daily balance check. Just look at your main account balance. No judging, no shaming, just awareness. We are literally turning the lights on gently to observe the room. When people avoid their finances, that unknown becomes monstrous and fear grows exponentially.
Right.
When you look consistently, the fear shrinks because the unknown becomes known.
Turning the lot on to shrink the fear. That metaphor works perfectly. It's about confronting the anxiety directly, but in a controlled 1-minute window.
Step 2. Cancel unnecessary subscriptions. We are targeting the silent leaks. We are not talking about essential comforts here. If Netflix is the only thing keeping you sane after a brutal work week, keep it.
Yeah, please keep it.
We're talking about the forgotten trial memberships, the $5 app you haven't opened in 8 months, the things quietly draining $30, $40, $50 from your account every month without your conscious approval.
Those forgotten $5 charges feel small individually, but they are absolutely chaos creators over the course of a year. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts.
It is. Step 3. Stop the financial fires. We need to identify any bill or issue that creates high-level monthly anxiety, late fees, overdraft penalties, or that one massive bill that you constantly juggle or keep forgetting to pay. In week 1, you don't solve the entire debt mountain. You just put out the biggest, hottest fires first, pay the late fee, set a temporary payment plan for the overdue bill, or call the bank to see if they'll waive that single overdraft.
That immediately reduces the daily ambient stress, doesn't it? Because chaos blocks the cognitive space needed for progress. Getting rid of 1 or 2 nagging fires calms the environment instantly.
It does. Step 4. Build a micro buffer. This is perhaps the most emotionally significant step in week 1. We're talking saving just $20 to $50.
Not 1,000.
Not $1,000, just enough for the tiniest safety net. Why is this so massive? Because that small cushion stops the emergency spirals. When you have $0, any unexpected expense, a flat tire, eating gas, buying medication, sends the nervous system into full catastrophic panic.
Yeah.
When you have $50, you have options. That $50 allows the nervous system a small space to relax and realize that not every small expense is life-threatening.
It's the physiological difference between seeing a negative balance that triggers a panic attack and seeing $50, which triggers a feeling of minor control.
It is. And step 5, emotional grounding. This is integrating the self-care aspect directly into your financial practice. It means prioritizing breathing, pausing, and calming the body before making any money decisions, whether it's checking the balance or paying a bill. We treat week 1 as a nervous system reset first and a financial organization second.
Before we move on to week 2, I want to linger on something I think everyone experiences in this first week. Visibility shock.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely real and we need to validate it.
Visibility shock happens when you finally see your financial truth. The current balance, the total of all bills, the subscriptions, the real spending patterns. For the first time without immediately running from it, it can feel heavy, emotional, often humiliating, and frankly, paralyzing. It feels like failure, not progress.
And this is where we need relentless compassion. You're facing not just simple numbers, you are facing old fears, old stories, perhaps even inherited money trauma. The beliefs like, I'm terrible with money, or this is too messy to fix.
Yeah.
It's okay for that to feel devastating initially.
But the critical reframe, the nugget we want the listener to hold on to, is that visibility is power, not failure. Avoidance keeps you stuck in the dark, where the monsters can grow. Visibility sets you free, allowing for navigation, decision-making, and conscious choice. You can only steer a car if you look through the windshield.
Exactly. Week 1 teaches us that messy things can be cleaned slowly, carefully, and calmly. You don't have to fix everything. You just need to stabilize the internal environment so that you can begin the work in week 2.
All right, week 2. Having created the breathing space in week 1, this is where the biggest emotional and behavioral shift happens. This is where we break the cycle.
Yes. Week 2 is truly the heart of the 30-day reset because it moves from observation to action based on self-knowledge. It focuses on disrupting automatic behavior. It has 4 core critical goals.
Okay.
Goal 1, track where money actually goes. We need forensic awareness, but again, without punishment or shame. You are tracking to gather objective data to understand yourself, not to judge the choices you made yesterday. It's like a scientist observing an experiment.
Because what we often think we spend money on, the large, obvious expenses, is often very different from the cumulative reality of where our money actually disappears. It's the $4 purchases repeated 20 times that break the bank.
Goal 2, identify emotional spending triggers. This is huge, and this is why week 2 is often hard. People start discovering their purchases are fundamentally about feelings, not items.
Right.
We need to categorize the why. Is it stress spending after a hard meeting? Is it boredom spending on the weekend? Loneliness spending trying to connect with others? Reward spending when you feel you deserve a treat? Or avoidance spending just to distract yourself from deeper problems? Understanding the emotional pattern leads directly to understanding the behavioral response.
So true.
If you know you stress spend, you can solve the stress, not just try to block the spending.
But wait, if week 2 is about identifying emotional triggers, isn't there a real risk that people get stuck there? That they endlessly analyze their childhood money trauma instead of just paying the bills? How do we stop this deep dive from becoming paralyzing?
That's a crucial question. We stop it by emphasizing that this is a 30-day window, not therapy. The tracking is for awareness, not analysis. The goal is not to fix the trauma in week 2, but simply to identify the trigger and deploy the next tool, the 60-second pause.
Yeah.
Goal 3, use the 60-second pause. This is the minute between impulse and action. That 1 minute changes absolutely everything, neurologically and practically. It gives your amygdala, that emotional reactive part of the brain, time to cool down. It allows logic to re-enter the room.
I swear that 60-second pause has saved my budget more times than any spreadsheet ever could. It's so powerful because it interrupts the emotional spending loop before it gets momentum. You realize the urge to buy that $7 coffee passes, and I remember my purpose.
That's the mechanism. It creates space for choice where previously there was only reaction. And finally, goal 4, create a safe spending list.
Ooh, I like this.
This is essential for psychological safety. It's a small, pre-approved list of purchases you are explicitly allowed to make without guilt. Gas, basic groceries, medication, essential toiletries, and maybe 1 or 2 small comforts that genuinely support your mental health, like a streaming service or a favorite coffee blend you buy once a week.
It removes the pervasive fear and shame from necessary spending, which, as we noted, is a massive psychological burden when you are trying to tighten the reins. You're not starving your loan account, you're just protecting your budget from unconscious spending.
And let's be perfectly honest, week 2 is the hardest week, emotionally, for most participants.
Because it forces you to face the emotional truth behind your spending patterns, the things that hurt, the avoidance techniques we carry.
Right, it forces confrontation with self-sabotage. But the transformation here, if you lean into it, is massive. When you truly understand your triggers that you spend when you are bored or when you feel unseen, your spending finally makes emotional sense. And when the pattern makes sense, the shame melts away, the judgment melts, the fear melts, and in its place comes pure operational clarity. Week 2 is the moment people realize, oh, I finally understand why I do what I do. And that self-knowledge truly is the beginning of real, lasting change.
Okay, after the intense internal and emotional work of weeks 1 and 2, week 3 feels like a massive release. This is where external visible results begin. Momentum is built and energy shifts outwards.
Yes. Week 3 is where people finally feel that tangible boost. And crucially, this external optimization only works because of the emotional and psychological stability achieved in the first 2 weeks.
Why is that order so incredibly important? Why can't someone just jump straight to cutting costs?
Because most people do exactly that, and they fail. They jump straight into money optimization, negotiating, cutting, side hustling when they are still scared, panicking, and overwhelmed. When your brain is in survival mode, you cannot negotiate calmly. You cannot plan logically. You approach bill reduction or income boosts from a place of desperation, which is unsustainable and often leads to burnout or terrible decisions.
You literally can't negotiate a phone bill rationally when your nervous system is screaming at you that you might go bankrupt.
Exactly. Week 1 and 2 reset the psychological foundation and the autonomic state. When you are calmer, more grounded, and more aware of your true spending patterns, week 3 becomes almost effortless. Once your internal world stabilizes, your external world becomes highly manageable.
So let's look at the 3 pillars of maximizing results in week 3.
Pillar 1, reduce expenses. Again, smart adjustments, not extreme, painful cuts. We focus specifically on lowering recurring bills through negotiation. We are talking about calling your phone company, your insurance providers, or even requesting interest rate adjustments on credit cards if necessary.
People are so afraid to do this.
I know, but most people don't realize they have immense power here. Companies rely on inertia. They count on you not calling. But if you call, they have departments specifically dedicated to customer retention, and they have latitude to offer deals.
That's a great technical detail. You're saying we should ask specifically for the retention department?
If you can, absolutely. You want to bypass the general customer service script readers and go straight to the loyalty or retention department directly, as they have the power to offer loyalty discounts, waive fees, or apply current promotions that aren't advertised widely. That's a small technical step that pays massive dividends in week 3.
Okay.
Pillar 2, increase income. This often triggers fear of hustle culture, but we are actively avoiding that burnout trap. This does not mean getting another long-term job.
Yeah.
It means small, temporary boosts, what we call momentum income. We're talking about finding quick cash infusion points, selling unused items on local marketplaces, getting rid of old phones or books, or maybe offering a microservice locally, like walking a neighbor's dog, or completing small digital tasks online that earn maybe $20 or $30 extra per week.
Just something to get the ball rolling.
It's about confidence building. It shows the listener they are not passively stuck.
That small, quick income boost is oxygen, emotionally and financially. It proves your agency.
It does. And pillar 3, stabilize bill flow. We need to eliminate the fear caused by unpredictable bills. This means setting up auto pay for your essential, fixed bills, rent, mortgage, phone, and internet, and then, if possible, adjusting due dates.
Well, that's smart.
Call the companies and ask if you can shift your due dates to align with your paychecks. For example, if you get paid on the 1st and 15th, you want half your major bills due around the 5th and the other half due around the 20th. Fixing the flow fundamentally fixes the fear.
I see this happen over and over again in week 3. People experience their first big tangible win, and it's often small, but the emotional impact is huge.
It is huge. They call the cable company and save $25 a month. They sell an old gadget for $75. They manage to successfully organize their due dates. These are not small things. These are victories that feel like oxygen.
They breathe again.
They breathe again. They feel capable, perhaps for the first time in years, of influencing their financial destiny. And that is the pivotal moment where identity shifts from one of helplessness and being a victim of circumstance to one of influence and agency.
That sounds incredible.
That powerful momentum carries us into week 4, the stability week. This is where you shift entirely from reaction mode to rhythm mode.
The habits settle in. The emotions, which were rampant in week 2, calm down considerably. The systems you built in week 3 start running smoothly without you having to manually force them.
Exactly. You are moving beyond mere survival and learning how to sustain the change you created. Week 4 has one primary purpose. Make the new habits feel natural, intuitive, and part of your lifestyle, not forced or temporary.
And that means the behavior we practice for 30 days finally solidifies into identity.
Yes, and identity, that internalized sense of who you are, is what maintains the transformation long after the 30 days conclude. If you believe I am a person who is consistent with money, you will act consistently, regardless of external circumstances.
Now that we have the overarching weekly map, let's go even tighter into the daily rhythm. Because the entire reset is simply 30 individual days stacking up, one gentle, intentional step at a time. We need predictable anchors. Walk us through the 3 daily anchors that create this grounding rhythm.
Every single day of the reset has 3 anchors. Anchor 1, a morning moment. Anchor 2, a midday awareness check. And anchor 3, a night reflection. This structure creates predictability, which is the antidote to financial chaos.
Okay, the morning moment.
The morning moment is non-negotiable, but it is not math, budget reviewing, or stress. It is simply 1 minute dedicated to calm.
1 minute. Everyone has 1 minute, even on their busiest day.
Exactly. Step 1. Check your primary account balance. Just look. No mental calculations, no judgment, no panic, just visibility. Step 2. Take 1 slow, conscious breath and state quietly to yourself, I am creating stability.
That's it.
That's it. This grounds the nervous system before money stress even has a chance to start the day. If you start your day by intentionally avoiding money awareness, your entire day will be filled with subconscious avoidance and anxiety.
Anchor 2, the midday awareness check. This is subtle, but it's incredibly powerful because it targets impulse buying. This is where you catch impulses before they happen. You notice emotional triggers in real time.
So what should the listener be asking themselves here?
What are the questions?
2 key questions, perhaps while waiting in line or sitting at their desk. 1. How am I feeling right now? Am I stressed, hungry, bored, lonely? 2. What money choice am I about to make? The goal is awareness, not restriction. Most financial mistakes don't come from logic. They come from those unchecked, high-intensity emotions.
It's the micro reset inside the larger 30-day reset. It gives you back that critical space to respond rather than react.
And anchor 3, the night reflection. This is the secret sauce. It creates self-awareness without self-criticism. It is a scientific observation of the day's activities, not a judgment session.
So what should they write down at night?
3 simple things. 1, one money choice they made today, good, bad, or neutral. 2, one money feeling they noticed today, anxiety, pride, relief, shame. 3, one tiny task for tomorrow, pay that small bill, look up the insurance phone number, no big tasks, just building momentum.
And the psychological magic here is that this intentional reflection rewires the brain. You are actively consolidating the day's lessons.
Precisely. When you reflect, your brain learns from the data points you collected. When you avoid that reflection, your brain simply repeats the old, familiar patterns. The reflection is the essential teacher in this entire 30-day curriculum.
I want to zoom out and quickly consolidate the emotional science, because this whole system works not because we are forcing it to be rigid, but because it is perfectly aligned with how humans behave and learn. We're moving beyond willpower, which inevitably burns out.
We need to understand that structure, emotion, and identity are the engines of change, not willpower. Let's quickly detail the 4 pillars of why this specific gentle system works so well.
Okay.
Pillar 1. Short-term goals reduce overwhelm. As we established, the brain relaxes when the timeline is small, visible, and contained. This lowers the physiological state of threat, allowing rational planning to occur.
Pillar 2. Tiny actions bypass resistance. If the required step is microscopic 1 minute of breathing, checking one balance, writing 3 bullet points, the brain says, sure, I can do that. It cannot mobilize resistance against something so insignificant, so you win automatically.
Pillar 3. Daily habits create identity. This is the crucial leap. If you do something every day for 30 days, you start to believe, I am the kind of person who's consistent with money. Identity drives long-term behavior far more effectively than any temporary motivation.
And pillar 4, reflection rewires the brain. Avoidance creates detrimental repetitive loops. Intentional reflection breaks those loops and installs new, healthier decision-making processes. The nightly reflection is the secret sauce to making the 30-day reset stick indefinitely.
Okay, let's ground this in practical reality. Resets are not perfect. We are human. Slips, resistance, and the occasional emotional purchase are not only expected, they are normal. They are signs of growth as you challenge old patterns, not signs of failure.
We need to acknowledge the common struggle so the listener doesn't feel isolated when they hit the inevitable friction points. Struggle 1, overwhelm visibility shock in week 1. Seeing the true numbers for the first time can trigger shame and the urge to quit immediately.
Struggle 2, resistance in week 2. Facing those emotional spending triggers head-on is exhausting. Old habits like emotional eating or spending pull hard because they are comfort mechanisms.
So true. Struggle 3, impatience in week 3. After doing so much hard emotional work, people want faster, dramatic results. They feel the effort but don't see the immediate $1,000 savings.
And struggle 4, fear of losing momentum in week 4. The deep ingrained fear that this transformation won't last and they'll revert to the old patterns on day 31.
And here is the essential self-compassion rule. If you fail halfway, you continue. You do not start over. The reset is a rhythm, a period of focus, not a perfect streak. One missed day or one lapse doesn't erase the previous 2 weeks of work.
If someone genuinely can't save the $20 to $50 micro buffer in week 1, what then? Should they just give up?
Absolutely not. Then saving isn't your first step. Stability and awareness are. If you achieve 0 chaos and 30 days of consistent awareness, you have succeeded massively. Saving comes later when the foundation is solid. If 30 days isn't enough to feel stable, that's fine. It's the foundation for continued momentum, not the finish line. If you get overwhelmed and want to quit, just restart the day, not the whole reset.
Now, let's deliver on the practical promise from week 3. We are giving listeners the exact language to use when calling companies to lower their bills. This is practical, life-changing knowledge that moves people from passive acceptance to active influence.
Companies expect negotiation. They budget for it. You're not inconveniencing them. You are engaging in a standard business interaction. We just need the right language to unlock the deals.
Okay, give us the first script.
Script number 1. For general loyalty discounts. This works for phone, internet, and most insurance companies. It's direct and professional. Hi, I'm actively reviewing my monthly expenses and budgeting for the new year, and I noticed my bill is a bit high compared to current market offers. Are there any loyalty discounts, fee waivers, or current promotions available that I might qualify for right now?
Available promotions. That's the magic phrase, isn't it? Because you are not begging for a handout. You are asserting that you are a loyal customer asking for something already available within their system.
Exactly. Companies respond better to that assertion of loyalty and self-advocacy. Script number 2 is for those who are experiencing genuine financial stress and need a sympathetic ear or temporary relief. This one is human and honest, which can often bypass bureaucracy. Hi, I'm currently experiencing some temporary financial stress, and I'm actively trying to avoid falling behind on payments. Do you have any hardship programs, assistance, resources, or temporary adjustments that can help me stay current and on track?
That is beautifully compassionate. It opens the door to solutions they might have in place, like temporary deferrals or specialized low-income programs that they might not advertise readily. It shows vulnerability, but also responsibility.
And script number 3 for negotiating interest rates, often on credit cards. Hi, I've been working diligently to improve my financial stability and credit usage, and I'm focused on lowering my monthly interest costs. Is there a way to reduce my interest rate, even temporarily, to support my stability efforts?
The inclusion of even temporarily is so smart. It reduces the perceived risk for the company, increasing their willingness to grant the reduction because it doesn't sound like a permanent, massive commitment.
Precisely.
I want to talk about preventing reset fatigue, which often hits around day 10 or day 15 when the novelty wears off and the emotional work gets heavy. It's normal, but we need concrete strategies to push through that middle slump.
We do. 3 essential strategies to prevent burnout and the inevitable rebellion against structure. Strategy 1, micro goals. Never focus on the full 30 days during the middle 2 weeks. Focus only on, I'm doing this today. Just get through the 3 daily anchors today. Keep the timeline ultra short to manage the mental load.
1 day at a time, not 30. That completely reframes the cognitive effort required.
Strategy 2, 2 free pass days. We build mandatory, guilt-free rest into the structure. You get 2 days during the reset, choose them when you need them, where you don't reflect, don't check balances, and don't worry about habits. You rest completely.
Oh, I love that.
Rest is a non-negotiable part of the reset and prevents the nervous system from rebelling against the structure you are imposing.
Giving yourself explicit, guilt-free permission to pause. That sounds like true compassion in action.
And strategy 3, celebrate tiny wins immediately. After completing any daily anchor or micro task, you need to reinforce that behavior. Say one sentence to yourself, I did something good for my future today. That immediate positive affirmation reinforces the new identity and makes the brain want to repeat the behavior tomorrow.
We've reached the deepest part of the reset, the point usually around week 4, where the internal emotional change catches up to the external actions. This is the true emotional climax.
Financial change, when done compassionately, is never just a behavior shift, it is an identity shift. By day 30, your body has learned that the new structure is safer than the old chaos. Your brain realizes you can handle things. Your heart finally relaxes after years of being on high alert.
If the listener still internally believes, I am bad with money, the old patterns will always return, regardless of how good their budget spreadsheet is. So, what are the 4 non-negotiable identity shifts that must be solidified by day 30?
Identity shift 1. You stop seeing money happening to you and start seeing it happening with you. You transition from being a passive victim of financial circumstance to an active, capable participant. You reclaim agency.
Yes.
Identity shift 2. You stop reacting and start responding. That 1-second breath, that pause between the urge to spend and the action, becomes habitual. You are no longer susceptible to emotional spirals. Identity shift 3. You eliminate the toxic self-talk. You stop calling yourself bad with money or irresponsible. That sentence destroys potential. You replace it with empowering, true statements like, I'm learning, I'm stabilizing, or I'm becoming consistent.
And identity shift 4, the ultimate emotional goal.
Yeah.
You begin trusting yourself again.
That is the ultimate currency. Self-trust is the emotional backbone of genuine, lasting financial stability. Without that foundation of self-trust, no system, no spreadsheet, and no temporary challenge can save you long-term.
Okay, I want to guide everyone through a brief visualization moment. We are using the power of the prefrontal cortex to literally imagine the safe, stable future you have earned. If you're able, close your eyes for a moment. If you're driving, just listen gently. Take a slow breath, in-brand, hold, and release. Feel your shoulders drop slightly. Now project yourself 30 days into the future. It's not a fantasy version, it's just you, but calmer, clearer, more grounded, more stable. See yourself standing in a familiar space, your kitchen, your living room, somewhere safe.
Notice your physiological state. See the softness in your face because you're not carrying that acute daily financial fear anymore. See the steadiness in how you stand. Feel the quiet hum of predictability instead of the jarring chaos of surprises.
And now, imagine that future you turning toward you, smiling softly, and saying just 2 simple sentences. Thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me. I am stable now because you showed up and started today. Take another breath. In and release. That feeling of grounded peace is what you are actively creating right now. Hold on to that image.
For those moments when the old fear tries to creep back in, when the numbers feel heavy or the debt seems vast, we need a tool. We call it the stability anchor. It takes just 5 seconds and you can deploy it anywhere.
What is it?
It's a physical, emotional, and cognitive reset. Put your hand over your chest or stomach somewhere grounding. Take a slow, deep breath and say 3 specific phrases. I am safe. I am learning. I am becoming stable.
It interrupts the spiral instantly. It resets the mind and relaxes the body by telling your nervous system that you are not in mortal danger.
Exactly. When your body relaxes, your choices improve, your habits strengthen, and your emotional patterns calm down. This 5-second tool reinforces all the work you've done over the past 4 weeks.
And finally, before we wrap up this intense deep dive, a tiny but profound assignment, a 1-sentence contract between who you are today and the stable person you are becoming.
Write this down tonight. Keep it simple and focused on care, not achievement. I promise to care for my future, even in small, quiet ways.
That's it. One promise. Small enough to keep, powerful enough to transform your identity. All right, everyone, this brings us to the close of our deep dive into the 30-day money reset. If you listen this far, I want to say something directly to you, and I mean this deeply. You are capable of more financial and emotional change than you believe possible. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not broken. You are becoming.
Yes. These next 30 days are not about seeking perfection. They are about building gentle momentum, refining your identity, establishing clarity, and most importantly, rebuilding self-trust. We're here with you on this journey.
We're genuinely proud of you for showing up and caring enough about your future self to take even this one step forward, the step of listening and absorbing this material. Thank you for your presence, your courage, and your willingness to try this compassionate, structured approach. Before we go, a final provocative thought for you to mull over as you start your reset tonight. What is the one small action you can take today before bed that proves to your future self that you are committed to stability? What is that first tiny win?
Take a slow breath.
Next week's deep dive is incredibly practical and necessary, especially for those in week 1. How to build an emergency fund when you're broke. We'll focus on realistic, practical, gentle, and truly doable strategies.
And hold and release.
We'll talk to you next time.